Okay, so in this example, we have a function that we want to integrate over a 3D region, where the region is in the first octant between two spheres of radius 1 and 2 respectively, centered at the origin. So I tried to sketch something here that might look like two spheres of radius 1 and 2 centered at the origin. I don't know if you can see it, but hopefully enough to set up the problem. Here's the one with radius 1, here's the one with radius 2. All right, so we are going to start with row simple. And so we're thinking about what is the radius of between from 0 to a point, right? What does that length vary in between? And so this is kind of straightforward when we have spheres, because we're thinking that we're going from starting at radius 1 and going out to radius 2, and that's not going to change when we're integrating over the sphere. So we have that our row will be between 1 and 2. It's always nice when rows between two constants. Okay, now let's consider what's going on with phi. And recall that in this problem, we are only in the first octant. So if we're in the first octant, then that angle from z is just going to go from 0 to all the way down to pi over 2, right? So if you think we're in the first octant, we're here. Here's the positive z-axis that will go from phi is 0 all the way down to phi equals pi over 2. So the bounds for phi are from 0 to pi over 2. And then we get down to our bounds for theta, which are they're not as difficult because we're more used to theta. So our bounds for theta, if we think about first octant and we're on the xy plane, then we're thinking about angles that are only in the first quadrant, right? So we're going to go from 0 to pi over 2. So theta is going to go from 0 to pi over 2. All right, and now we're ready to set up our integral. So our function, let's change our function to spherical coordinates first. So notice that our function up there was, so our integrand is x squared plus y squared plus z squared to the negative 3/2. That's what we need to change to spherical coordinates. And I'm just going to remind us here a little bit of some of the conversions that we have. The one that's going to be most useful here is that x squared plus y squared plus z squared is equal to the radius of the sphere squared, which is rho. So this identity is the most useful in changing our integrand to spherical coordinates. So we can replace x squared plus y squared plus z squared on the inside with rho squared. And now we're taking rho squared and raising to the negative 3/2. When we multiply exponents, that's going to give us rho to the negative 3 because the 2's will cancel. So let's set up our integral. Our limits of integration for the outer integral, which is theta, will go from 0 to pi over 2. Limits of integration for our middle integral, which is phi, will go from 0 to pi over 2 also. Limits of integration for our inner integral, rho, from 1 to 2. Our integrand function is rho to the negative 3. And our volume differential is rho squared sine phi times d rho, d phi, and d theta. There's our setup for the integral, and now we're ready to start integrating. I'm going to go from the inside integral out, and let's say our inner integral is with respect to rho. So I'm going to factor out sine phi, and we have the integral from 1 to 2 of these two rows give me a rho to the negative 1, or 1 over rho d rho. And so the antiderivative of 1 over rho is the natural log of rho. So we have a sine phi on the outside times the natural log absolute value of rho, but notice that our limits are both positive, so I don't need the absolute value there, from 1 to 2. And so that is sine phi times natural log of 2 minus natural log of 1, and natural log of 1 is 0. So this will be natural log of 2 times sine phi, and now we're ready to go to our middle integral with respect to phi. So our middle integral, for our middle integral, the natural log of 2 is a constant that we can pull outside. So we have natural log of 2, integral from 0 to pi over 2, sine phi d phi. So that's not a difficult integral to integrate. We'll have a negative cosine phi, so we have negative natural log of 2. Actually, I'm going to leave the natural log of 2 without touching it. Natural log of 2 and negative cosine phi from 0 to pi over 2. And that gives us natural log of 2 times cosine of pi over 2 is 0. So that's going to give me plus cosine of 0, which is 1. So this is just the natural log of 2. All right, and our outer integral is theta from 0 to 2 pi. No, from 0 to pi over 2, sorry about that. Just remember we're in octant 1. So we have natural log of 2 as our constant, integral from 0 to pi over 2 of d theta. And that gives us natural log of 2 times theta from 0 to pi over 2. And when we evaluate this at pi over 2, that's pi over 2, natural log of 2. And when we evaluate it at 0, we just get 0. So our final answer here is pi over 2 times the natural log of 2.